So this is a 2007 Dodge Sprinter van, same as Mercedes if you know anything. But yeah, the motor went out on me, so I bought a new one installed by the Mercedes dealership at 299,000 miles. So that's what the frame has on it, and the new motor now has 10,000 miles. And I had to update the rims. There's a secondary alternator for charging from Nation's alternator that pumps out like 280 amps, so lots of charging there. There's a custom roof rack up above with 600 watts of solar, and then I put these pipes on the side to make it look more like a plumbing van, so I can park anywhere overnight and never get messed with. So that's really nice. It also blocks the view of the solar panels. So, and then you can also see the antenna for the 4G booster, the Wii Boost. That definitely comes in handy. We got some nice knobby tires on here, some all-terrains. Those things have, the rims are a little dirty, but it's been raining like crazy, so this is the only chance we've been able to do this video. So, nice little running rail. Come inside. I get so many looks when I open the door and people see the inside. They're like, whoa, I thought that was a plumbing van. But yeah, so there's this little rack. So if you go swimming or something, hang your shorts, they can dry, towels. And the step, also, if you swing it out like this, you can actually dry stuff into the step as well. And there's a little cubby hole under here to put shoes. So when you come in, you can kick off your muddy shoes and kind of put them back there for them to dry. And then right away, here's the switch for the lights. You got all the 110 receptacles have the USBs on them as well. And a little 12 volts. And a little flip down, so if you want to have your drink right here, sit on the step, enjoy the view. And then right here is actually the refrigerator. It can be a fridge or a freezer. So very useful, very useful. And everything's got these push button locks on them, so they stay in nice and taut. And then coming in, we have a little light up there for cooking. Nice butcher block countertops with some epoxy on it. A little cutout for our deep sink. Nice and deep. And there is a 4-gallon water heater. So there is hot and cold water. And this comes down so you can clean everything up. And there's also a reverse osmosis water filter system for drinking water. And then these are little flip down hooks that are conveniently placed just high enough when you put a grocery bag. The loop around here, the weight stays on the counter, but it keeps it from sliding around when you're driving. So if you grab something real quick, you can throw it up there, still drive around, and it's not going to mess with you. And then up here, just simple cabinets, lots of deep storage, all three of them. Got the gas struts on them. Again, the push button locks. Over the cab, we have another overhead storage. This is where we store the blackouts for the drivers and passenger side doors. They just magnet up. Super easy. And then the front windshield blackout. So you can black out this entire van when you're parked stealth camping and no one knows. This is also a really cool addition. It's Velcroed all the way across and down. And then in the middle, there's magnets sewn in. So you can actually access the front. I'm actually going to take it down to show you. And it's also got a few little Velcros down the side to keep it taut. And there's another Velcro strip there for a bug net that goes across the opening of the door. And it also has a magnet going down the front of it. So the side door and the back both have the bug nets. Super useful, especially in Florida. But both seats swivel around just like this. And let's see, there's also a tablet head unit that it runs on Android software, but you have Google Maps. It's basically a tablet for driving around. What else? We had Spotify on there, all kind of stuff. So that's super cool. You can see here I reset the mileage when I got the new motor, so 9,000 miles, excuse me. So definitely. And then the overhead storage, super useful, super useful. We have a lot of stuff up there. Again, we got these little hooks. And then coming back into more of the kitchen stuff, super deep drawers all the way back. And everything's got these push button locks. And then underneath here, we actually have a trash can. And then we have a little built-in shelf. There's our water filter system, and then an S pipe going down into a 7-gallon gray water tank that's under the van. And there's also this little P pipe. So if you're parked somewhere that doesn't really matter, you gotta go. It goes straight outside so you don't fill up the composting toilet, which I'm about to show you next. Oh, also the 7-gallon tank, the gray water, has a switch over here for the bilge pump, and it's actually, it'll drain your tank super easily, so you don't have to get under there and mess with anything. Super nice. We use this as a cutlery drawer. Got our pots and pans. Since the battery system is so robust, we cook on a induction cooktop. Super nice. So you can actually take that onto a picnic table or anywhere else. Again, these are all super deep, full extension drawer slides. And like I was saying, here is the compost toilet. Nature's Head. Does not smell. Stayed in this van for 1.5 years, and if you open the windows just right or the fans are doing something weird, it'll pull air in because that's the only other air hole, but very rare do you smell that at all. Pull out pantry. We actually had a coffee maker right here. It fit perfect, but definitely super useful there. And then over here, we got 3 little shelves. We actually put our clothes in like packing bags and then put it in there. So super, super useful. Yeah, a big kicker for van life is having AC. And if you notice, this is a window unit. Window units draw half of the power as the RV rooftop ones. So this I can actually run on the battery bank for all night on a full charge up to 14 hours, which is awesome. And on those really, really hot days, I've got a little blackout curtain that velcros either from on the inside of this. It's got a little piece of velcro to here, so I can direct the AC back to just the sleeping quarters, so that you don't waste all of your AC in the front of the house. And then the same goes with right here. There's some velcro right here to here, so you can block off the bed and AC just up here. And with that blackout curtain, it's got a thermal value as well, so you can actually just AC just this area. So very battery friendly when you're using AC. You got to think of these things. All right, so the electric panel right here, we have our water or our diesel heater, which I didn't show you. It's under the seat in the front. Our inverter charger, which is a 3,000 watt, and our waste gauges are the gray, the fresh water, so we're 2/3, and then our water pump is actually on that switch. We have a Victron Energy smart BMS or a smart monitor, another some USB chargers, and I put this little cooling fan in for, I used to have my hard drives back in here in this little area right here, so I had a cooling fan to keep the air nice and cool. And this is also the switch for the water heater, so whenever you're running the AC, you gotta watch your load, so you don't want all the lights on. I had a computer mounted here. Like, yeah, you don't want to run everything at once, you'll pop fuses. But yeah, so this, I had my iMac Pro on, and I run all my cords through here to my hard drives, but this pulls out and then rotates around. And all of these extra cables were for a Wi-Fi router that runs off 4G And then I had another one for a light, and I wanted to keep those there because they're super useful. And then here's the repeater for the 4G booster that's up on top. Thinking about putting some Velcro on this and sticking to the wall, which is really cool about these walls. It's the indoor-outdoor carpet, but you put anything, some Velcro on it, it's gonna stick to it. So even these LED lights, you can dim them or go up or anywhere in between. Super useful, or turn them off. So that's super cool. And then as well, there's another switch here, so you can turn off these backlights. So let's say if somebody wants to sleep in and you want to sit on the computer and work, you can put up that little blackout, turn the lights off, they can sleep in, you can work. Very nice. And there's actually a cubby hole under here that a computer desk sat, and we'd slide it in, and then we would just hold it in with this bungee. So the computer chair slid under, so really like cool office space. I spent lots of time sitting in that chair working, so definitely needed it. And I had freestyle drones mounted on these screws. They can be taken out. You can put anything else you want up there. But having access to your storage under the bed is very important. So I actually put it in these slides. So now you can have access to all of your storage under the bed. And if you look in, we've got some load lighting on the front. On your right, you can see the water heater in the back. And there's some peat moss for the compost toilet. And then on the left is actually an access hatch to all the electronics. So this just comes down right here. And then this whole panel comes off, and then you can actually see inside over here. But to show you, we're just gonna slide the panels to the right. And then you can see there's 800 amp hours of lithium in here. That is a lot of battery. There's a smart battery protect, a turn off, 12 volt fuses, the solar cutoff, 100 amp reswitchable fuse, and then a Victron smart solar charge controller, the 150 amp. So lots of stuff going on back there. Then the bed itself is a full-size bed with 2 inches cut off the width. And then all of these cubbies in here have lots of storage. They go down in there. Lots of storage in there. Lots of storage in here. And everything's got these gas struts on here as well. And then they lock in. So lots of storage throughout this whole wall. Could have put in another storage up top over here, but I mean, with all the storage that's going on, and especially the garage area, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Oh, so the captain's chair, the driving chair, swivels around as well. And there you'll see this little overhang. So when this swivels around, I would have clients, I'm a photographer, so I would have clients looking at photos on the laptop, and I can be on my main computer working. So it's very useful to have another space, another eating space as well. So definitely useful. And yeah. Oh yeah, the diesel heater under the seat. This thing works so good. I think even in -degree temperature, we still had the fans open just for some like little fresh air, because that thing gets really hot. It does have a thermostat, so you can set it. It's in Celsius, but you'll figure out what works. Oh yeah, we do have a little knife bar here. I used to have this thing loaded up with knives. It doesn't, I've never had one fall off, ever, so. Oh, and then a nice paper towel holder, so. You gotta have the ratchet kind, so you don't lose all over your paper towels while driving around. Oh yeah, I do have an Accurate indoor-outdoor thermometer, so you can kind of track what the temperature in here and out there is. And let's go around back, show you the garage. So around back, and Notice we got a little skirt so you can't see into the storage. So if you're filling up water, you don't want everybody to see all of your stuff. So we'll just swing it up here. So a little cargo net, super easy for throwing like quick access stuff in there. The water tank is right through here. There's a sight valve and there's a 16-gallon tank. And there's also a little switch right here for another load light that runs across here. So you can completely see what you're doing. And as well, there's an LED behind the tank. So at night when you're filling, you can see the water level so you don't overfill. And to fill it up, you just use this little expanding hose, screw it into there, and you're good to go. There's also an outdoor shower, hot and cold water, with just a little quick release. Go in there, go at it, and we just set it right there whenever we're you know, not using it. So this little deal, being a photographer, my light stands, tripods, like all that stuff are like long and skinny, like super hard to store. So I built this that things just slide up into and set down. So you can put all kinds of stuff in here. Little fold-out chairs, or I mean anything that fits that kind of long and skinny critique. So these are actually tent poles or awning poles for a tarp that goes on the pipes and goes out. And people ask me all the time, like, oh, what's in the pipes? What's in the pipes? Well, this one, there's actually nothing. And in this one, there's actually a big 12-foot by 12-foot floor mat. So whenever I'm posted up somewhere for a while, like actually camping, then I can actually take that floor mat out, put it down, and then I'll take the tarp that's in the overhead storage, carabiner it to the pipes, and I'll have me an awning. So not as nice as the nice fancy rollout ones, but again, we still have that stealth factor. We can camp anywhere. Little roll-up cord for charging, because it is an inverter charger that we have on board. We can plug into any normal 110 outlet, and then as well as the expandable ladder, which is super useful for getting on the roof deck. So the back about 4 foot, 5 foot I believe, is a roof deck. And then there's also 600 watts of solar. And it was really a lot of pollen the last few days, so those panels might be pretty dirty. And as well, right here you can see one of the Max Air fans. It's the Deluxe, but it's not the one that has the fancy remote with it. There's one here, and then there's also one up front. And they both they go in or out. So you can set one on in, one on out, and it is amazing. Like, you lay in bed and it's just so cool having that air come down over you. Over here to the right, you have a little cubby. Just swing this back down. You got a little cubby. There's a 3-way switch, so when you get in bed at night, you can actually turn off all the lights in the van just from one switch. So it's super nice. And as well as the little USBs for charging, and then another 12 volts. And then up top, your fire extinguisher, and this is actually the remote for the air conditioner. And as well, there's 2 carbon dioxide and smoke detectors. There's one in the battery compartment, and then there's also one above the computer area in the office. So if anything does happen, then you're definitely gonna know. And then if it happens while you're in bed, you got the fire extinguisher right there. So, oh, one other cool thing about this box is when it closes, it goes straight up against the bed, and it acts as a headboard. And so you can put the pillows up against it, and how that computer monitor swings out. We used to just watch Netflix. We'll just swing that out. We can have movie night in bed, or it swings out the other way. We can sit in the swivel seats up front, like have dinner, watch movies. And then another fact that people don't really talk about much, they'll take plywood, put a bunch of holes in it or slats to create a air gap. But there's this material here that actually creates an air gap under your bed, so it eliminates the mold growing. A lot of time in the colder conditions, mold will grow underneath mattresses. Huge problem in the RV industry. So instead of having the mattress straight on plywood, which a lot of people do, I mean, it was like 120 bucks for this little mat for a full-size bed, but completely worth it. I don't want any mold. The construction of the van, there's also a vapor barrier all the way around. It's fully insulated, and noise, got noise dampening material in there, so no moisture is going to go from the outside of the van and come in and grow mold in the walls or anything like that. So that's very important. We got a little pull-up bar here. If you want to do some pull-ups, you can do some pull-ups, or to help you get in bed from the back. So, and again, I said it earlier, but there's a bug net back here, and it was made for French doors. I seam ripped it, sewed it back so it'll fit perfect in here. So then it's got the magnets down the middle, so you can open it up too. Well, that is about it for the van, I believe. Took me 3 months to build it. Yeah. You guys enjoy. This van is for sale, so if you're interested, feel free to message me through YouTube or Instagram, wherever you're seeing this. I mean, this was a beautiful home for me and my girl. We traveled the country, did photo shoots all over the place, and now it's time for someone else to enjoy it. And I already went through the headache, put a brand new motor in it, so it's definitely good to go for a while. So